Welcome to this episode of 1UP 1Breakdown. I'm Kid Shadow, and my co-host, Kryptonic Caston.
That's an interesting. What does that mean?
It's like kryptonite, like, yeah, Superman. Yeah, you're my weakness, bro.
Aw.
And on today's episode, we're talking about Markiplier's new movie, Iron Lung, but as well as video game adaptation coming to the big screen, and there's a lot of it.
There really is. There's been a few that's actually come out recently as well, not even including Markiplier's movie, but there was the Silent Hill 2 movie remake that was apparently a giant disaster.
Yeah, very poorly received. I was actually stoked at first because I thought they were going to do a fantastic job remaking it. I was like, yeah, they learned from the mistakes. There's no way they can make a shittier version. And boy, I guess we were wrong.
Have you seen the numbers for it?
It's bad.
It's really
It's
bad.
really, even like the fucking, I take Rotten Tomatoes with like a grain of salt, especially like critics, because most of them fucking suck ass. But bro, when even the audience is like, guys, this is a flop.
I've seen stuff since I've looked on more stuff on Reddit about like Silent Hill. I've been seeing the Silent Hill subreddit come out like because it now feeds you that stuff, and they're like, yeah, this is shit. Like I like it because it's more Silent Hill, but this movie's bad.
Well, and it blows my fucking mind because how do you fuck up Silent Hill as a movie? Literally, the story's there. It's easy. Just literally copy it. That's sometimes these video game adaptations are so ass, and they just have to like undo everything good about it. Like the Avatar movie that M. Night Shyamalan did. I knew the movie was fucking scuffed the second they were like, Sokka. I was like, Sokka?
Wrong.
Yeah. Like his name is fucking, it's Sokka. Why did you have to change that?
And it's been a recurring thing. You can see it in things that are adapted well from different media. Especially, it seems to have to require this more for video games, is that the person that made it or the company that made it is involved in it. It's like, hey, like, yeah, this is like the stuff that you want to keep like correct to what we've done, and this is the stuff you can change.
Which you think would be a no-brainer. It's like, hey, let's bring the guys that wrote it and like get some ideas. Like The Last of Us Season 1, I actually liked that they made the fun guy, whatever, the mushrooms, the cordyceps, like a hive mind, where if like one is alerted, they're all alerted. I was like, that's a cool concept. I like that they changed it from being like an airborne thing. They took that out. There's like changes, and then they showed how it like people got infected from like the grain and stuff that made the bread, the doughs and stuff. I was like, that's cool. I can see that. I can see that run with it and that play on it. That's a cool change. I fuck with that. Season 2, not so much, but
yeah, I stopped watching The Last of Us show after the
she became a dad.
No, I didn't make it to season 2 because like since I love that game so much, I know the story already. I watched a few episodes of the first season. Like, cool, I know this first season they adapted it well and proper. I stopped at the episode with what's his name, Nick Offerman, who is Ron Swanson and
Bill.
That episode, yeah, that episode was fucking good.
It was that's a prime example of a change from a video game series where it actually worked out on the big screen. I was all about it. I was like, this is cool. They adapted on it. They made him less of a jackass. And I actually was like, cool, this makes sense. This makes me like him even more as a character.
Yeah, they expanded on it to, like, in the game, he and his partner were fighting, and at that time, I believe he was still alive, according to his knowledge. And then I think in the TV show, if I remember correctly, he was already dead, but it was showing that they had a much, like, better relationship. It was an interesting change. It made for a really good episode.
Yeah, and then in moments like that, I'm all for it. But again, that Avatar movie's absolute ass. The Dragon Ball movie, nobody needed to make that. They should have paid everybody back. That should have been like a class action lawsuit against how terrible that movie was.
So what I've read, I mean, it's something online, you never know, but supposedly that movie is what led to Dragon Ball Super because he didn't want that to be the last Dragon Ball thing made. So it could be like, oh, this is also what got us Super, though.
Okay, if that's the case, I'm fine with it. And I know there's actually a ton of people that hate Super. They think it's garbage. I actually think Super's great. The only thing I don't like about Super is that Super Saiyan Blue is absolutely fucking pointless out the rip.
There's a worse one. It's Orange Piccolo. You know it's true, too. It's like, bro, they just made him fucking orange. Like that.
It's how to kind of keep scaling that he's not strong enough still, but he's still kind of there.
Yeah, I know. And I get it. It's like, to me, I don't remember much of that particular movie. I remember the one with the super movie with Broly was really good. I loved that
was
one.
So freaking good. I thought it was hilarious when Frieza kills his dad. And he's like, oh my God, Broly, look, oh, a straight shot. I was like, that's amazing. He literally just murked his dad and blamed it on a straight shot. I was like, that's such good writing, dude.
Yeah, that one was good. The other one, I was not as big of a fan of. I didn't think it was bad. I was just like, compared to the Broly ones, like, it's truly like definitely a step down. So back to the topic at hand here. For Markiplier's movie, it seems to be doing really well.
It's ripping.
We looked up the stats before we started here. It's only been out for a few days at the time of this recording, but a budget of $3 million and it's made 21.5. That's a successful movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot of M's.
A lot of money.
Yeah, and kudos to him. And I've always said this in general. I think that video game writers, as of 2026, I think video game writers have become better storytellers than most blockbuster writers. And you're starting to see it more and more, which is why these video game adaptations are coming. The Fallout series, all this stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Hell, they're even bringing From Software, games to the big screen, like Netflix and stuff like that. And it's because of the storytelling. And obviously, Markiplier being a huge content creator, he gets storytelling. You know what I mean? He sees
definitely
all these different stories every single time he does a Let's Play. It just, to me, it makes 1,000% sense as to why it was a slam dunk.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, he brought in the guy that made it, which is another part of that. But I think, too, it's kind of gone the way of it's another shift in this great lineup of things coming from indie content of any kind, because anybody that doesn't know, Iron Lung was an indie horror game that was made that he played, and then he started working with the creator of it to then make the movie. And it seems more and more you just see all these great things coming out of it when it's just people sitting down wanting to make this thing and tell this story they want to tell.
It's passion projects, and passion projects, more and more people are wanting that. They want very authentic experiences. They don't want high cut, fast paced, let's do 10 different, shots within 15 seconds of the movie just to make it seem more entertaining than it is. People just want simplicity again. They want, actual depth to their entertainment again, which makes me happy because for a minute there, everything was so fast cut that it was like, this is just slop. And this is going to sound crazy, just to pivot. I noticed this when Kitchen Nightmares came back. Gordon Ramsay's show. I've watched an ungodly amount of Kitchen Nightmares. We used to actually just let it run 24/7 in our house. And when it came back, it was doing that same kind of let's just do super fast cuts to where I was like, this is unwatchable.
Anyone who doesn't know this as well, when we started working together was because I was editing his YouTube videos. And the reason that comes into play with this is because I think it's actually the other way around. I think that people, like you see these editors telling people how to edit things, and a lot of them were talking about, look at what TV is doing, right. Look at what reality TV is doing. And that's actually, I think a lot of editors started using the kind of reality TV method of like, oh, what do they do to build hype? Where do they create these breaks? How do they start it? Where they start with like, oh, this is why you should watch. So I think it's a little bit of both. Like, I think it's editors have started pulling from that kind of reality TV perspective of how to make these videos. And I think also, yes, it is very fast-paced editing.
But it's interesting because Mr. Beast reported that his videos for the past X amount, his views are down overall. And one of his goals for 2026 was to change his video style to better serve his audience. And so when I see things like, as an example, Markiplier's movie Killing It and stuff like that, to me, it seems more, again, that people are just relying on these passion projects. Same with indie games like Expedition 33, Silk Song. It wasn't supposed to be an in-your-face, look at this crazy budget we have. It was, let's do the best we can with what we got. And it just seems like that story time and time again is just winning over and over again with people because it resonates with people too. You know what I mean? We don't have the best of the best. We gave you the best of what we have.
it's kind of the way that things have shifted too, as well as like you see these game studios as like the industry gets bigger, or even like movies where they would make the same kind of thing because they know it works and pump money into it. Like you have like kind of the Marvel movies have done that. You had like Fast and the Furious that kept doing it, kind of stuff like that. Like
both those have gone. Like, I'm excited for the new Avengers, but god damn it, I'm so over a fast 10-year seatbelt and fucking I can't. Like it's become so fucking regurgitated.
Yeah, and I think that's with most things in life. There's always going to be this kind of like pendulum effect where we will overcorrect one way, and then you'll start to see the other way of like this, to where like now instead of like very fast paced, like in editing, it's called retention editing in a way. I prefer to think of it as just like the ADHD style of editing, where it's like you are not giving them a fucking second to look away.
Yep.
And then it's being replaced by kind of more like authentic, because when it comes to that and that kind of era, like maybe like 2013 to like 2020, you know, YouTubers had seen other people do these things that work, and then it kind of devolved into the YouTuber voice. I did this and that, and I think people like,
on today's episode, grab my ears and you'll never get what. Yeah, it's like I can't.
And I think people just, like you said, they want something real now.
Yeah.
It's like everything feels like fake. And it's kind of, it really is just with everything. And I think the rise of like short form has part of that too, where it's like you see these people kind of like doing things more in their everyday life and less of like a creative like or personification of themselves, less so, and more real feeling.
Yeah, and it's crazy because in the world of content and everything like this, from all forms of media, there is a lot of faces, if that makes sense. A lot of people wear faces and aren't the same as they are, you know, when a camera's on. Mm-hmm. Then I get that. That was even in music too. It was the same thing. People played a character when they were on stage, and then they got off stage and they're like, "Oh my god, just give me my tea." And then just yeah. But one thing I will say, to go back to Markiplier's movie, and if this isn't fucking industry corruption at its finest, he was like #1 on the list for movies that dropped in the box office. And then a couple days later, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't even on the list anymore. And I've seen this not even just with movies, but I've seen this in music, that if you are an independent, right? I'm going to use the term artist for the sake of just kind of generalizing. If you are an independent artist and you don't go through the big guy for them to get a cut, you will never be listed as, you know, being successful on this, because it sets a precedent that, hey, you don't need us to do that. And I think the reason why Markiplier's movie scares Hollywood is because content creators, especially like the top of the top, they have money. Mm-hmm. They don't need money. And they understand filming, and they understand visuals and lighting and all that, because to be a content creator, you have to know those things. It has to be something that you're good at.
Learn so many different skills and wear a ton of different hats, and like this kind of more limited capacity, but you still have to know them. You still have to know visuals, you have to know audio, you have to know lighting, you have to know editing, you have to know all of this stuff. So yeah, in a way, when you're making videos like that, you're making like, what is a movie?
Movies, right?
A movie is a video.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's the same kind of thing of knowing, like adding in sound effects, adding in atmospheric sound, adding in like all this stuff. It's really like, I could see it definitely scary.
You're gonna see a shift now, because Markiplier proved that you can do it with a smaller budget. And I'm not saying $3 million is a small amount of money, but it's a small amount for a movie budget. In the terms of like the grand scale of movies, your average movie's like 20 million.
Yeah, but that's kind of also the way that horror movies have kind of done it for a while. Is they are, I forget the name of the studio that does the like kind of like purposely shitty horror movies that do really well, because they don't need a big return on it. They'll make kind of like how Markiplier's did, where it's like 3 million to like 20 million. They have that smaller, like under 10 mil budget, but if they're hitting like 20 to 30 million on that, they're still seeing a decent return on what they've made.
I'm just gonna say Cocaine Bear was a fantastic movie. I actually did go to theaters to see it, and I was very pleasantly happy. It was the best 6.5 out of 10 movie I've seen.
Very nice. Yeah, I love those shit horror movies, man. Or like the shit shark movies.
Ah, Sharknado.
Sharknado. mega shark versus giant octopus, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna give, for anybody watching, you want ball for the shittiest movie that you'll ever die laughing, and it's the best $2 ever spent. Catnado.
Catnado?
Yeah, so I made my wife watch this, and she was like, "What the hell is it?" I was like, "It's Catnado." It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a tornado of cats that goes throughout the city, just effing everybody up, like literally. And it's the cheesiest looking cats that you've seen. They'll just like it's so bad, and all of it's so bad. But they got $2 out of me, so
yeah,
can't be that bad. And I'm plugging them now too. So yeah, and brought to you by, no, I'm just joking.
Brought to you by
Catnado.
Catnado. Look out for the pussy.
Yeah, exactly. But I wonder how many more content creators now are going to step up and do the same thing, because even if they don't have the 3 million, they can get a loan for 3 million based off of assets and stuff like that.
Yeah, their name too for certain ones.
Yeah, I'm surprised Jimmy hasn't done more movies as well, because he did.
He has his reality show with Amazon, Beast Games.
Yeah, which is it. The budgeting for that's crazy. I mean, the fucking prize alone is $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm surprised he hasn't done more movie-esque things, or maybe he just likes the more. He's got that format, like, you know what I mean, like, I found 5 people that don't know how to speak English, put them in the center of the fucking world, and see if they can actually work together to get the hell out before they drown. And it's like,
yeah,
what?
His content's always had more of kind of that reality TV-esque like draw to it, where it's like, oh, this is this crazy thing. I don't think he's, at least from what I've seen from him, it's less of like, say something like doing like more of a creative like kind of film project. So maybe that's a little like different than. And not to talk shit on him.
No,
like,
I'm laughing because my mind just went to, what if, you know what Super Size Me is?
Yeah.
What if they made that except it was Feastables? Like the guy just ate Feastables all day and see how much weight he gained.
I don't know if they want that advertising.
Of course they don't.
Especially with everything else I've seen about like was it Lunchly?
Lunchly, yeah. It's Lunchlies and Feastables all day, every day. It's like, oh my God, I'm just like gorging.
Ugh, good God, no.
But the cheese is drippy, bro. Like,
then what else could be wrong?
Right.
You know?
But to speak on other video games that have been adapted well, I mentioned it earlier, the Fallout TV show. If you haven't seen it, both seasons, absolutely amazing. It is so reminiscent of the game that while I'm watching it, I'm like, hell yeah, this is like, I know how this felt when I saw it in the game, and to see it in a movie or a show, right, is awesome. But the even better thing is to get someone like my wife, who doesn't really give a shit about video games, get invested in a game that I grew up playing.
Yeah.
It's cool. I guarantee you I could actually play the game now and she would watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how good. Like, I've only seen the first season. I'm letting the second season go all the way through and I'll watch it.
I think it's done.
It is done? Okay.
Big fan.
I was busy watching One Piece. What do you want from me?
Yeah, sure.
I finished it.
Brother,
I caught up yesterday, actually. But like, it's one of the best adaptations I think I've seen of a video game for a TV show.
Yep.
Like, and there's not a lot of overlap. Like, I don't think there's a lot of overlap in characters. It's just the general concepts, and they've done really good. And I really love how they kept the designs accurate. You know, like, they didn't try to make it less goofy, because it is kind of like goofy with like the Vault tech aesthetic of like Vault Boy and like the power armor, the way it looks. Like, I think that's such a big, like, I don't think it's gonna turn off a lot of like neutral fans who don't know about it, but the fans of like Fallout be like, oh dude, look at the power armor in real life.
I feel like I became more of a fan from the show because I know you haven't seen season 2 yet, but they made the creatures that you fight just like regularly, like rad roaches, more terrifying. So, you know, when you play the game and you see rad roaches, like, man, I'd kick that thing's ass. And then when you see them in the show, you're like, bro, if they're like that, I don't know. I think I'd be fucking scared of rad roaches too, you know? But what...
Dude, I'm scared of regular-sized cockroaches.
Yeah, regular-sized roaches. I noticed how you hung up there. But what... The only thing I have to criticize about the Fallout show, Bethesda, you dropped the ball big time, okay? I don't even care if this gets me in trouble with the Bethesda fanboys. Deal with it. How are you going to put a timer that counts down to the season finale, that when the clock hits 0, there's an announcement. Everybody thinks it's going to be a Fallout 3 or New Vegas remaster because the season 2 is basically reminiscent of like New Vegas.
New Vegas, yeah.
To be like, here's the behind the scenes. Nobody gives a shit, okay?
Behind the scenes.
Right. I didn't need a countdown for the behind the scenes. That's dumb, dude. You would have made so much money shadow dropping it. Bethesda, look at me. Stop being anti-money in the things that make sense and stop releasing Skyrim for the 10th time. But
So, speaking of Skyrim, actually, relative to the TV show, I don't remember where the source was for this. But I did see someone, I don't know if it might have been someone involved with Skyrim. They were saying how they don't ever think they'll do an Elder Scrolls show because they don't think the story, like the general story, is strong enough for a TV show. Because what is Skyrim? What is Elder Scrolls? It's generic.
jank.
It's generic fantasy, but the draw is you get to control it. You get to be it.
right,
It's like,
it's jank. And I don't mean that in a bad way. That's kind of the love of Bethesda games is the jank. As long as there's a lot of it and not empty like Starfield. Todd Howard, we made the planets super realistic so that we could cut budgets.
fucking Starfield, dude. Like, because
It could have been amazing.
they approached it, they went for vast, and I think people don't want vast if it's empty. They want deep.
I think they just fucking relied on the modding community to make it interesting. That's what I think.
Do our jobs for us, please.
Well, dude, they have this like Star Wars thing that repurposes the entire world to be like your Django. And then you just go around and it's all Star Wars, like everything. And I'm like, that's sick. But like, I think it's bad when you have to rely on modders to make the game good.
Yeah,
They even use the modders to fix FPS issues, all sorts of things. I'm like, what are we doing? Put them on payroll.
Yeah, seriously.
Like you're Bethesda. You have that Microsoft money now. I love Bethesda, just so that we're clear. But I'm not going to give them the pass when they could be a little bit better. They need to change the engine. I said it. They need to upgrade engines. It's not enough.
They desperately need a good game, which is crazy to think of for a company like Bethesda desperately needing a good game. Because the last couple, I think at least the last two, have not gone over well.
76 has gotten better appeal as of late, but I don't think it's a mass.
It was a disaster on launch, though. And then you have Starfield, which even on when supposedly probably fixed, is no one gives a shit.
I don't know anybody that talks about Starfield.
If you do, it's probably few and far between. Like, because I even tried it. I'm like, okay, it was on Game Pass. I'm like, I will give it a try on Game Pass before they fucked it up and increased the price. But then, like, this is fucking boring. I don't know what it was. What it didn't. It didn't have anything interesting on the planets was probably a big part of that. But it's like, dude, like, how do you go from just banger after banger to this?
Yeah. Speaking of a different company that has been just putting out a killing of games, but is also coming to the big screen, is From Software. So 3 different things. I know 2 of them are confirmed. One of them, I just read something online, so I don't know if it's true. I'll leave it at the end. But A24 is making the Elden Ring movie. Super hyped on that. At first I was like, but A24, I actually like them. And then even the director of the movie said he has beaten the game 3 times and plans to go through it a few more times to really, truly understand the game so that he doesn't fuck this up.
Yeah. That is so refreshing to hear. Like, that makes me like have a little bit more faith in it. I try to go into anything neutral like that. But when you see like, this is probably the biggest version of like this that really pissed me off when they don't care about it is the Witcher TV show. Because you had, I actually don't know how to pronounce his last name. I always say Henry Cavill. I think it's one of those two. Cavill, okay. He was such a great Geralt, and he loved the games and the books, and he was the entire draw of that show. But they fucked up like every other character, and like they made it just not interesting. It's like, dude, you had someone that just gifted you this amazing like adaptation of a character, which I think was probably like one of the things that you'd be most worried about with a TV show like that, especially because Geralt is he's very unique, but he's very like almost bland appearing because of the way that Witchers are, the way that it's like the transmutation or the mutations rather that they go through, how it kind of like in a way kills their humanity. Like he did great. It was like you were watching the Geralt from the game, except jacked. You know? But like,
I watched the first season.
First season's pretty good.
I tried to watch the second season and it lost me.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of went, I feel like, in the wrong direction.
It did.
I'm hoping that the Elden Ring movie is super solid from it. Because it's, okay, when you have someone that's playing the games to understand it, it kind of gives you the faith that it's like, okay, you know enough. The experience, you've played it, you enjoyed it. It's not somebody feeding it to you.
You can see what people loved about it,
right?
You know,
right. And the other one that they're making from Software is the Sekiro anime.
Yes, I'm actually very excited to see this. I'm, as you might have been able to figure out by now, a huge weeb. And there was actually, did you know the controversy that was like surrounding that originally when they announced it?
Oh, the AI
yeah,
stuff?
they thought it was, but then it's not. They came out, it's like, yeah, we're not using AI. This is drawn.
I'm glad they went animated instead of realistic, because I think Sekiro is a movie that would benefit from anime style versus realistic. Because
oh, absolutely.
I mean, not to say that you couldn't do it in like a realism way, you easily could, but I like the color palette that you were using. That's why. It's
cool to see how many like just awesome animated stuff and anime are coming from these games now. Like the Cyberpunk anime is one of my favorite anime ever.
I don't watch a lot of anime, but that one made me fucking cry.
It is almost perfect. It is an incredible work. Like I'm actually excited to see what they do with the next one they do, because like it's very loosely connected. Like they can make it like a different story and create it.
Did you ever watch Akira?
I did watch Akira.
When I watched the Cyberpunk anime, I got, wow, this is a modern day Akira vibe. That was like the whole thing, is the kid gets some sort of powers, goes crazy on it, pretty much kills himself over trying to do some stuff, ends up dying. Yeah, the whole thing was like, damn.
And you've seen more stuff do this too, like with Sekiro doing it. And when I saw them, like, okay, I think more games are going to pair them with animes now, and it's kind of starting to happen because you also have
the story's written.
Yeah, like, and even then, like, it's so open, like, with what they can do. They can do anything with Night City. But then you also have things like Arcane that was really good too. Also another, like,
never watched it.
I've heard it's really good. I need to still watch it, but like everybody raves about it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just too happy to play League of Legends, you know.
Well, this is the good thing about this is you don't have to play League of Legends for it, which is actually the best part about it.
The irony is that I actually play League of Legends and you don't.
I do not know. But then you see, like, because they're bringing in the right people in the right studios, because the Cyberpunk anime was made by, was it Trigger, I believe is the studio, and they make some great animes. They really do. You went to an actual anime studio to make this. You went to an actual, like, they are like ones that make some really big, like, successful ones that are like standalone or adapted from manga, and they're starting to get it. But then you have ones where they just seem to have not gotten the memo.
Yep.
Like Silent Hill, like The Witcher, you know? It's like, God damn, it's like, we're so close.
Supposedly, the last one, there's no I don't have official confirmation, so if it's not true, please leave it in the comments for the love of God. But there's an animated Dark Souls series that's going to be on Netflix.
That would be really cool. I think animation is going to work really well adapting anything that FromSoft has made, because it truly just gives you this open canvas to work with. Which,
if that's true, and I'm all for it, I'm not one of those huge glazers of this game. I think it's a good game, but I think the fan base overglazes it. However, for an animated show, Bloodborne would be sick because of the aesthetic.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be dark. It'd be like, I'm all for it. Werewolves, vampires, saw blade, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that kind of Victorian setting too.
That would be so dope.
Yeah, that wouldn't be real. Like, I truly think like you could make any of them really good in an animated one. I think it's interesting. It's definitely harder.
Could you imagine if they made a Dark Souls 2 show and half the show is just the show buffering, but that's like actually part of it? Like the guy's talking, he's like, "What would you?" And then it just like continues the show, and he's like in a different part of the area.
Yeah, and then there's just all these clumps of enemies in one spot, and then he gets hit through fog walls and stuff like that.
The main sponsor of the show is ADP, the HR software.
That'd be fucking great.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's an opportunity. If you do it, I want a third.
Yeah, there you go. Just a measly 33%.
Dude, they say it. Write a word, get a third. It's a phrase that I've lived by. So, yeah. But it makes me happy. And now I'm starting to think of what other games would I love to see turn into like movies. And one in particular for me that would be really cool is actually, before I even say that, I'm happy they're redoing the Resident Evil movies. Let's just get out of the way. The first 2 Resident Evil movies were okay. Second one probably being the best because of fan service. There's Nemesis and stuff like that with Jill.
Wasn't the first series of that, didn't they create a character specifically for the director's wife to play?
Right, she's the main character. And that's why. So the first one, it was so-so. It was eh. Second one, better. Cheesy still, but better because they had liquors. They had Nemesis. They had, Jill was in it. Like, everything was better in the second one. After that, not so much. It got really bad. Then she got powers, and then it was just Albert Wesker was cheesy in it. So if they redo it, which they are, and they do it in a way where it serves the fucking movie, I'll be happy. But I would love to see a Final Fantasy 16 anime adaptation because it was a darker Final Fantasy, more bloody, more gory.
That would be really cool because, like, I probably want to try and play through Final Fantasy 16 again one more time because the highs in that game are so fucking cool. Like, the choreography of, like, I don't know if they're called I know the person is called the dominant of the summon. I don't remember what they're called when they are in that form. Oh, it really did take a dark turn. When they're in like the full form, like some of those fights, like they were incredible. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. It's like the highs are really there. I'm like, certain parts of it, like I even liked the way that they made Sid in that game. Like, I think that they did a great job on so many things. It's just, man, like it really lost me in some of the low points.
The side missions suck.
Maybe if I play it again and I just like power through it, play it on easy, just get the story, it might be a better one. Which it's not the way I like to play those kind of games, but
I don't know. I've seen your skill level. I think it's the exact way you like to play them.
How dare you? Another thing that I think could be really cool if they did it correctly, and I think it would benefit from being animated as well, is the Mass Effect series.
I know nothing about it.
It's a trilogy that you should play at some point, because of the first one definitely shows its age, but like the story is really cool. Just the entire universe they created is a very interesting one. Like the aliens that they've made are really cool, like in the way that the history's played out between the different species and races have been very interesting. And, but I think that could be a really cool one with how like the Reapers are. Like, it's a really cool story that I feel like is not necessarily too much like what has been made in kind of just something that you watch only, you know?
This is gonna be a total shocker. It's my arm tattoo, but I would love if they made the Final Fantasy VII story animated like Advent Children. I think they could do a fantastic job. I think it would do extremely well and break it up into like the same thing, like a 3-part movie. You know, did you ever watch Advent Children?
I've seen little clips of it, especially now that I've been playing through Rebirth and seeing stuff on like short form content about Final Fantasy VII, and like from that it's shown me some stuff on Advent Children. I haven't actually watched it though.
It's fantastic. The fight scenes are awesome. Everything about it's really good. What's crazy is it's old at this point, but yet it's still it aged well. Like it aged really well, and it shows you essentially what happens after the game, where like everything like Midgar and all that is at. So a 10 out of 10. Couldn't recommend a better movie to watch after you play.
Okay, I definitely will, because right now I'm slowly working my way through Rebirth, which so far, man, it is so much more enjoyable to me than Remake. Like, it's
a great game, but there's certain character elements I wish they would bring back from the original.
I know. This is going off topic. I don't know if you saw their comments on this in your chat, but I had someone from your community come in, and I was telling them if they wanted to get you upset to tell you how much they loved the new version of Sid.
Oh, bro, he's too fucking PG. Like, I don't want to this motherfucker over here be like, oh, I'm gonna find that tiny broccoli. No, I don't want to hear it, bro. I want him to smoke 6 packs a day inside his house, literally hotboxing his house while his fucking
slamming bourbon.
Yeah, while his fucking wife is trying to be an absolute doll, and he's just like, shut the fuck up. I need to get the fucking spade. Like, that's the Sid that we need. He was the alcoholic dad that just like wasn't trying hard enough, but that's him.
But just as a game, I will say, like, the side stuff being just open world, like, there's at least a little more variation that I really liked compared to Remake, where it was, I literally stopped playing because I was going through it again. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go from the Remake into Rebirth to get ready for that one. I immediately stopped playing it when I got to the point where you're only with Aerith, and you're walking back to her house, and I saw this section where I remembered it, where you run back, and I'm going to have to come back here to fight one stupid dragon, go out of my way for this stupid side quest that's going to give me nothing. I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, there was pacing issues with the first one for sure. When it comes to Rebirth, my favorite thing about it, oddly enough, is the Queen's Gambit game. Did you play that?
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's like, dude, you can get stupid broken on it where it's like...
See, that is how you add hours to a game without hindering the experience.
Yeah.
Because that Witcher 3 has Gwent. You know, like, when you have a good, it doesn't even have to be hard. Like, you can make the game super easy to just have the player blast through everything. But when you have a game, like a mini game that's fun, that's, like, totally, like, optional.
Yep.
That's a good way to add time. Like, not this fucking, the main quest is here, but you didn't go in this door, did you? You're gonna be back. I'm like, fuck.
I have this opinion of games that do that, but they do it at the end of the game. So there's a lot of games where I won't replay it if the end of the game seems like such a fucking sludge to, like, trek through, you know what I mean? Where they're just like, you know what? It's the end of the game. Let's fucking pad it with hours. Let's make the shittiest quest where there's just an unbelievable amount of enemies, unbelievable amount of objectives just to fucking really pad it. I hate that. But there's actually one instance where, not to like keep talking about Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy 15, it's chapter 14. There's this fuck ass mission where you have this ring, which is like the ring of all rings, you know? And it's just you and this ring, and you got to like go through the whole chapter and kill the enemies at launch. The ring was so shitty that it was like the hardest thing in the world to beat. And I did it. Yeah, I remember getting so mad. I was like, this is so stupid. I would like have to like run around the area trying to not die to enemies for the ring to recharge so I could do that. Yeah. They eventually fixed it. And then I was like, wow, this makes it so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think too that you can do that, like an end section where you're kind of like doing almost this victory lap of like this, oh, look how far we've come. Like, it's a little tedious in the 1,000-Year Door, but that's what they have you do at the end. You like go through and you go before the last mission. It's like you're following this character, but you're going to all the places you've been, getting to see all the characters like that you met and adventured with. And so like it can be done well when it's like this kind of last
talk
victory
about a
lap.
Fucking banger of a game though. 1,000-Year Door is the best Paper Mario out there.
It's, I think, one of the best Mario games out there.
Yeah.
Like that's such a good game, man. I would love for them to do more actual RPG like
that
Mario
would be
stuff.
a cool fucking Mario movie. Like a Paper Mario, like a side scrolling, like
they might go that with the next one with how much they did like Galaxy. They're like, hey, what if they're paper now? What if like, oh, Bowser turns them paper? Because then they have there's an entire section of like that where there's really cool, fun parts of all of the Paper Mario games they can pull from.
You get a whole universe, like literally.
Some of the best Mario characters are there, man. Like I love that iteration of Bowser.
But if Pete Davidson isn't Waluigi, I'm out. Tell me I'm wrong. Pete Davidson would be the best Waluigi. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That's his only fucking line. He just comes up there. MGK's standing on the fucking sideline. He's like, all right, you got it. Here's your line. He's like, like that's it.
Did they have Wario in the Mario movies?
I don't think so.
Who would play Wario?
Probably the guy that does like Paul Blart. I forget, Kevin James or whatever.
Kevin James.
If not him, Danny DeVito.
Oh. That might be an actual good cast.
I know. Like
I was looking for goofy answers.
Yeah, no, Danny DeVito. He'd have to get like super big and then like, yeah.
Oh.
You know? Who else could it be that would be like, that's insane? Trying to think of like, imagine it was like Jonah Hill pre-weight loss.
Oh God.
It's like looking at Mario. He's like, the funny thing about my back, Mario, is it's located on my balls. That's fucking hilarious. Overall, I think that video game adaptation is getting increasingly good, especially where we came from, like the 90s. Like the old school Mario movies and shit like that. That was
with the fucking Goombas?
Yeah, the turtle Goombas. I think we've come a long way, and I don't think it's stopping. I think people keeping, the pioneering strong, like Markiplier, and the success of his movie, which congratulations. We're in for a treat for good movies again instead of just remakes.
Hopefully he changes that space a little bit, man, because I personally have seen very few movies come out where I'm like, I want to go see this.
I agree, 1,000%. And we even had musicians doing it too. Like Rob Zombie was doing like the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see content creators come into the space. So let us know what movies you guys would love to see made out of video game adaptations.
Bye, everyone.
We'll see you in the next one.